Good afternoon. This is Claudine here at Rascal and Crow Farm. This is just showing you a little segment on the progression of our little heirloom tomato seedlings. And what we've done is we've hardened them off a couple of days ago. Today is May the 3rd. As you can see, we have placed, after hardening our heirloom tomato seedlings from hardening off for the 7 days, now we've placed them here. For the last couple of days they've been sitting here on our tarp shelving in our greenhouse. So these shelvings were made for them, and each year we place them in here so that they can further continue growing for the month of May. So in the month of May, they will take a nice big huge growth spurt. On the 1st of June is when we plant them over here on Vancouver Island, in the south end of Vancouver Island on the coast, and so they do really well here. We have sort of a Mediterranean type weather here, so they do really great over here. Our property in the summer can get even up to 46 degrees Celsius. It's been that hot at times. So tomatoes don't generally like that much heat. They're really happy around the 27 Celsius range. So that's just to let you know that tomatoes, it is a bit of a myth that tomatoes love heat, lots and lots of heat. They like a balmy 27 degrees Celsius roughly. That's their happy zone, 26 to 28. So in here, for the month of May, as they grow, what is going to happen here is that these seedlings, as you can see, they're quite tender. They got that nice light green tender leaf right now, right? And so they will go through a stress period being here. As you can see, I've taken off the tops. They've just bent down for the milk jugs so that I can preserve those milk jugs for next year and reuse them. So we usually use them for 2 years in a row, and then they become too brittle to use after that. So these little leaves, like I say, will go through a stress period. And the stress period that these tomatoes go through gets a little ugly actually, but that's okay. That's what they go through to harden those little leaves. And I will show you what that looks like when they're going through that stress period. But it doesn't last long. And what happens is those little stems will get nice and thick. As they are now, they are turning that nice purple, that pinky purple, as you can see. And so that is hardened off, and they will further continue to grow. And they'll grow about a nice, at least a foot tall, some a little taller, to 14 inches before we plant them in the 1st of June. Now the reason why we plant them, leave them here for a month to grow, of course. We only plant them in the 1st of June because planting them any earlier does not hasten their growth. So when we plant them on the 1st of June, the soil is nice and warm, and tomatoes love to be planted in warm soil. So try not to be hasty when you plant your tomatoes. I've seen videos from other farms and other places. We've been growing them for over 20 years, about 22 years now. And I noticed that there's some of these people are planting them at this stage, so young, so fragile, and they're planting them in there. And I'll guarantee you that they're losing a lot. So if it's a hot zone area like California, they're going to stress them at this stage. You should have them robust before you actually put them in. And putting them in early isn't going to make them grow any faster. So be patient and wait. And that's kind of the mistake that a lot of people do. And they go, oh, well, my tomatoes didn't survive. Well, it's because you didn't leave them be to grow a little further until it warmed up. Okay, so even when you buy them at the nursery, just place them somewhere like this where you can grow them, and that you're not planting them too early in the ground, or you will have at least a 50% chance of them not pulling through, as if the ground is not warm enough, if it's not a warm enough weather. Okay, even if it's sunny, it's still cool, and so just make sure that the soil's warm, the weather's warm when you plant them. So here on Vancouver Island, June 1st is the sweet spot, and so that's when I plant them. Every area, it's really funny because our province here in British Columbia, different areas have different growing zones. So that's what it is over here on South Island. And it turns out beautifully. So I hope this was helpful. Just to show you here, if you can see, there's some way further down on the other side and some along the sides there too. We've got about 300 seedlings in here right now. And so there's anywhere from 2 to 4 seedlings. 2 of the seedlings, if there's 4 in a milk jug, 2 of the seedlings will be taken out to allow the 2 remaining to grow and have room to grow. Those 2 remaining seedlings, the seedlings that I pull out, I could either repot and sell, or I can just compost them, which sometimes I end up composting them. Sometimes I end up selling them. It just depends on the year and how much work we have to do over here on the farm, because we have lots to repot, and I don't always have the extra help that I need. So it's no worries. So anyway, we do sell our heirloom tomatoes every year, as well as our gourmet garlic and produce. This year we're just concentrating on our gourmet garlic and our heirloom seedlings that you see before you. And as it is sort of the pandemic year, so it's a year of just concentrating on those 2 crops for this year. So I hope this was informative. Thank you again for joining us, and we will see you next time, folks. Bye for now.